One of the most asked questions when planning a trip to Costa Rica is, when's the best time to visit Costa Rica? The other most asked question is, it says it will rain when I'm there. Should I postpone my trip? So let's dive deep into these two questions so you can plan your most authentic trip to Costa Rica, shall we? How most travelers plan their vacations to Costa Rica. The way most travelers go about planning is a two-step solution. First, they see which dates their travel group is available for vacations, and second, they search for what would be their best itinerary for those dates. As a local and having lived and traveled throughout my country for the past 36 years, I recommend that for Costa Rica, your planning process or mode strays for a more of the beaten path way of planning. Let's look into how I recommend to plan your vacations in Costa Rica. Step 1. The most important thing to start with is analyzing who your travel group is. Knowing who you're traveling with, their limitations, their wants, and their needs is essential when you're planning your itinerary in Costa Rica because it will greatly impact the destinations that you choose. It could be the biggest headache in the world if you choose a destination or an activity that can't accommodate your wants and needs and not being able to choose differently because of time or other reservation limitations. I have a super helpful webinar series in which there's a 10-minute video where I dive deep into each group category, which you can find linked below. But to give you an overview, I've categorized travel groups in 5 labels: traveling with kids, traveling with a partner, traveling with seniors and or disabled people, traveling with friends, and traveling solo. This is one of my favorite topics because it could be the deciding factor on whether you have the most freaking amazing time in Costa Rica or you'll come back with even more stress than what you left with. Basically, my 36 years of experience here has taught me that there's a different Costa Rica to be experienced depending on who you're traveling with. The destinations and activities you'll choose to include in your itinerary will very much be determined by the age group of your party, their limitations, their wants, needs, their sense of adventure, bucket list experiences, must-see landscapes, etc. Do sign up for the free webinar to get in-depth recommendations on your travel group category, whether that's traveling with your kids, with a partner, with seniors and or disabled people, with friends, or going solo. Step 2. Once you've analyzed your travel group, you need to understand Costa Rica's seasons, which brings us to the second most asked question. But will it rain? I always ask travelers one thing. The most sought after activities and one of the reasons Costa Rica is widely popular is for its natural beauty and all the adventure it provides because of it, right? So what is the one prerequisite this country needs to be so rich in biodiversity? It requires rain, rainforest. Of course, it rains a lot in Costa Rica. We have 2 seasons. We have the dry season and the rainy season. We don't have spring, summer, autumn, or winter, just rain or no rain. The temperature stays pretty consistent throughout the rain. Whether it's dry or rainy, it will still be warm. Let's look at the seasons, shall we? The dry season. Dry means hot, but it doesn't mean that it most definitely won't rain. This is what makes traveling to Costa Rica so adventurous. You never really know what to expect, but you will most definitely have the time of your life. If you're heading towards the rainforest, jungle, cloud forest, etc., you should pack some rainwear, especially if you're visiting destinations such as Monteverde, Diosa Peninsula, Corcovado, Tortuguero, and Sarapiquí, and the San Carlos region. The dry season goes from mid-November until the end of May. The wet season. Rainfall in Costa Rica can be expected most commonly from May to November, most especially in September and October. But don't go about canceling your plans. A typical rainy day in Costa Rica means a sunny morning with some showers, usually around nap time, which is why many travelers actually prefer to come during this season. It happens also to be my favorite season, the green season as we call it, because you can actually appreciate Costa Rica's lushness. Everything is green and dense and alive. Additionally, a very important fact to consider is that we have two coasts with complete opposite weather patterns, the Pacific coast and the Caribbean coast. I always like to tease that when in Costa Rica, you can always drive until you find the sun, because it will be sunny somewhere. If you're trying to plan a trip to Costa Rica, but you are getting overwhelmed in the process, I totally get you. It takes an insider's perspective to understand how to really plan a smart itinerary for you and your travel group, which is why I designed a super budget-friendly and comprehensive e-course that covers absolutely everything you need to know about Costa Rica, such as understanding the weather, how to budget, vaccines, medications, and the healthcare system, private versus group travel, the best ways to get around, the typical first-timers itinerary, and pretty much all the destinations there are to visit and which ones are best for you, all the adventure activities there are available and where to do them, wildlife best practices and where to spot them, and of course, food and what to pack. Honestly, this e-course can save you many hours in your planning process and might just be the perfect solution for you to plan a stress-free itinerary in Costa Rica that will most surely be a once-in-a-lifetime adventure that neither you or your travel buddies will ever forget. The key is finding the right and honest information. You can find all about the e-course information in the description below. If you're not ready, don't worry. I'll give you a few more tips on how to smartly plan your Costa Rican vacations. Step 3. So we have our travel group analyzed and we have understood that no matter when you travel, you can always have a good time, whether it's in the rainy season or the dry season. Both have their perks. It's just a matter of having the right information and guidance for choosing the destinations that can offer you the most for your wants and needs, and finding which activities are best to be done when. Now, our third and last step is to look into your travel group's availability. This would be the first step the traditional traveler would make. I recommend setting it last because if you have done step 1 and step 2, now you can have much more clarity on setting your dates. For example, you've identified that in your travel group, there's a person that happens to be a marine life fanatic, and one of the bucket list experiences is to volunteer at a turtle conservation center for a couple of days and participate in their release. Well, you can go into our e-course and find the turtle nesting season for each turtle species and where to find them and plan your itinerary around that. Or maybe you're on the senior category, you want to hike, do some bird watching, but don't want to get surprised into a level 3 hike with uneven territory or segments of the path that require strenuous exercising. Then, once again, you go into the e-course and find which are the best destinations and experiences to go to that will best suit your needs and when's the best time to go there. And lastly, once you have identified at least a travel month that you'll most likely be able to visit, then you go into the e-course and learn what's the best to do that month and plan around that. This way you can find out which activities you need to do to plan out or book in advance, what to pack for Costa Rica during those dates, how many days to stay, etc. So just as a recap, my suggestions on how to smartly choose your dates for your upcoming Costa Rica itinerary is: 1. Understanding and analyzing your travel group. 2. Learning about the season in Costa Rica and looking up into your travel group's availability. And then 3. Setting up your dates. However, if you want to skip ahead and plan a smart itinerary that will save you plenty of time and stress and guide you from beginning to end so you have your complete itinerary designed in one weekend, then check out my e-course, Plan Your Trip to Costa Rica Without the Overwhelm. I've designed this e-course in 3 easy steps. Step 1, Let us guide you. With our local knowledge, we go in depth on every aspect to consider to plan your trip and walk you through destinations and activities and give you our honest opinion on what's best for different travel styles, preferences, and your travel companions. Step number 2 is plan as you learn. Our program is designed so that you can start making decisions while you're getting our insider tips. This way, when you go through all the material, you'll have your itinerary ready to start booking. And number 3, you get all the perks because we're on a mission to curate travel guides for off the beaten path travel in Costa Rica. We've made professional relationships with many local travel entrepreneurs we really like, such as lodging, restaurants, experiences, etc., and we transfer those discounts directly to you. Unlike most travel agencies, we don't commission over absolutely anything, so all the perks go to you and your travel group. And you get all this plus many, many more for just 47 USD. I mean, just to give you a taste on budgeting for Costa Rica, that's probably the price of one lunch for 2 people for a mid-range traveler. So basically, for the price of one lunch, you get to design the perfect Costa Rican itinerary for you and your travel group, and you save yourself not only the overwhelm of planning, but also understanding which destinations and activities really are for you and not choosing the wrong experience because someone advised you for it. You'll understand why you're choosing a specific activity or destination because you know that this is something that you'll absolutely love and will make amazing memories to keep for a lifetime. I hope that this video has given you a much better idea on how to plan your most authentic Costa Rican vacation for you and your travel buddies. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up to help me know that this has been helpful for you, and subscribe to my channel to stay on the loop for more helpful content coming at you each week. Pura vida, and see you on the tropical side.